Welcome to Let's Talk. Here we will focus on the hustle, the juggle, and everyday struggle of small business. We will be here every week talking to small business owners about their everyday struggles, stresses, and ways they have been able to overcome the challenges of running their business. We welcome questions and comments, so please feel free to email us at admin@PlemonsCPA.com. We hope you enjoy, and above all, we hope it helps. Welcome to the Hustle, Juggle, and Struggle of Small Business. I am your hostess, Thalia Williams. We are proudly sponsored by Pontum Financial, connecting your financial dots. Today in our studio, we have Susan Obregon from Timeless Moments by Design. Welcome, Susan.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We're glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business.
Well, about myself, I'm basically a little Iowa girl back in Carter Lake, Iowa. But I've lived in Hawaii, and I've been to Texas for about 25 years. Oh, going on 26. So I'm a Texan girl right now.
I know. I understand that very well.
Yeah. My business is Timeless Moments by Design. I'm a wedding and event planner, so I work with a lot of corporate entities, a lot of weddings and social entities, whoever needs an event, needs logistics done. I also do floral and decor, linen, and pretty much whatever you want, I can do.
Excellent. So tell us, how did you manage to get into this line of work, this product, this service?
Well, I guess you can always say I've been the family party girl in terms of if they want a party, want the flowers, I'm the one that they go to. So that's kind of how I started just loving doing what I'm doing. I love designing and doing things like that. But I was in the medical field before doing contracting and marketing and credentialing and all that good stuff that you do in the medical field. But unfortunately, those doctor groups, they get bought out, And so it's like after the fifth time, I said, okay, I think I need to go a new direction. So I started working for one of the venues in town part-time and started doing their events, to actually almost full-time, but I was a part-time type of person. And I found that I loved it. And so it just eventually turned into more of their events. And I decided, well, if I can do it for them, I can do it for myself. And so I started my own business and took a little bit of time to get my name, but finally it came through. And it was just that excitement in order to be able to have your own business, work out of your home, and make it the way you want to make it.
Now, how long have you been in business?
I'm going on my 8th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's a really neat venture, to do everything. There's a lot of struggles.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but every day it's like, am I going to do this tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to do it again because I got another bride. I got another event, and that's a new journey.
Right. So what have been some of the challenges in running your business? We know that all entrepreneurs have some sort of struggle, some sort of hustle, some juggling they have to do. What about for you?
Well, time is there. So I do have my time. It's just that having to do it all, I find the biggest struggle, especially now, is I need staff. But, with the pandemic especially with the pandemic that went on, it's not quite there again. Last spring, I was there. I was like, I was at my sweet spot, and I was ready to hire some people, and it's like it stopped. So now I'm back there again, where I'm trying to get my income back up and getting the clientele back up, and the community, the brides, the corporate, they're starting to come back alive. And so that helps. So that's been a big struggle is I have to do administrative. I have to do the networking. I got to do the phone calls. I got to do the paperwork, and I got to actually do the event.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm got these arms all over the place doing everything.
Right. You feel like an octopus, but you only have 2 arms, but you need to have 8.
Definitely.
I got you. Wow.
And you do want to, if you're going to do anything, you want to do it to a good standard. You want to make your client happy. And that's what I do try. And there's times where, it becomes a struggle to make sure everyone's happy.
Undoubtedly. And then the key is your persistence. You persist because why?
Because I love it. I love the feeling that every event or everything that I do has an ending and they're happy. Mm-hmm. So, I cry when they dance with their dad and their mother. I cry when they get married. And there's certain times they're so happy during their wedding and their ceremony that it just feels like that, like a mother looking at their child. I got them to this point. They're happy. I'm part of their life now. And, I see them now, many of them after so many years, they're having babies. And I said, that's my, that was part of me. So that's the excitement. And that's why I keep doing it one way. The other way is that, I get to work from home. I get to take my grandchildren if I need to. I get to set my own hours, which is usually, 9 to 8 at night. But, they're long days. But also there's days I could take when I want to. So
that's good. Yeah. That's real good. And usually that's one of the heartbeats of an entrepreneur, to have control over their time, because time is just what it is. There is precious. No more of it. Mm-hmm. You have 24 hours and you have to maximize it and get the most out of it. But when you don't have control over 8 or 12 or 16 of those hours, it can be quite daunting. It can be quite like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Why am I just making the donuts for somebody else? When for some people, entrepreneurship is the ultimate. For others, it's like frightening as all get out and they're not going to do it. But we want to address those who are willing to take that leap. So tell us about one thing critical about support. Tell us about support for you. How critical is it?
It's very critical. I mean, because this is a hard industry. It really is. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things that have to be done. Sometimes the time constraints are like, you're working 24 hours, you're not even going to get any sleep. Last weekend I did a wedding and I think maybe I got 30 minutes sleep because of flowers. I was doing planning, I was coordinating, I was doing the whole thing. Had staff there helping me, and we were rushing. So, you need the backup at home, and you need the backup of your industry. So your peers, people that work in the industry. It's one thing I like about San Antonio is a lot of our planners and a lot of our vendors, they're supporting each other. They are there if you need it. Hey, I need this. I'm looking for this type of vendor. I'm looking for this. I need help here. There's always hands coming in to say, hey, I can help you. And which is very assuring, instead of being so competitive that no one can breathe near you, So that's a blessing here in San Antonio, I think.
That's
is
good.
The networking, the people in the industry, they're very supportive. Home-wise, I do have a big support. My other half is, he may not work with me day to day, but when I have my events, he's there putting things in the car. He's there
the muscle.
At the event. Yeah, he's my muscle. He's there to put things in the car. He's there all day with me at the events, making sure my back end is taken care of. If I need another person, I do have a third or fourth person if that is needed. But he's always running around. So, again, the support is very important.
That is true. Very true. Especially in the industry that you're in, because just going to a wedding and you look, oh, it's so beautiful. Or you go to a corporate event, look at the balloons and the archway and the lighting and the curtains. And you realize someone had to do that. It just didn't magically appear.
Right.
And that's where you come in to make all that magic appear.
Right. The magic is very magical, but it takes a lot to get there. You're right.
That it does.
It could take 1 or 2 days just to make something happen for somebody at the venue itself. I mean, it could take a year, to really develop it and get things going. Ordering your supplies or flowers could be a month, 2 months ahead of time. You have to make sure, like any business, if you're going to order things and get things going, you got to do it.
We have Chris Hall joining us today from Pontum Financial. Chris, tell us a little bit about Checkpoint Charlie's.
Checkpoint Charlie's is one of my favorite topics. First, I have to give credit where credit is due. My golf pro gave me a lot of checkpoint Charlies. Everything he referenced was a small task or a small little box to check every time I lined up with the ball. But checkpoint Charlies refer to a systematic breakdown of tasks that you can address that almost become like clockwork. So you know what you're doing, you know when you have to do it. So all you have to do is implement that and do it and make sure that the checks are done on a regular basis. So if you can check off 1, you can move to 2, check off 2, move to 3. And what it's in direct reference to as far as business owners go is I always say, look, we have checkpoint Charlies that we need to make sure are taken care of on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. So at least one of those meetings, several of the team members from the Power 5 need to be in that meeting so they can update you on those checkpoint Charlies because they have their own list. But as a business owner, you should be able to sit down with a 1 page of your checkpoint Charlies provided to you by the people who are collaborating together, mainly the Power 5, and be able to say, these are the decisions you have to make as a business owner, and then be able to file it away in your corporate book and move on for the year.
So how can we reach you to learn more about the Power 5?
One of the best ways to reach us is to just give us a phone call. It's 210-625-4845. You can follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook or visit our website at pontemfinancial.com. That's PONTEM financial.com.
Chris Hall is a partner with Pontem Financial and offers securities and investment products and services through Waddell & Reed, Inc., WRI, member FINRA/SIPC. Pontem Financial is a separate entity from WRI. So tell us about a failure you learned from.
Oh, my.
Only one.
Only one. Okay.
If you've been in business more than 2 days, you have at least one.
Well, I think my thing is that I want to help everybody. And so I put a lot on myself. And I think if you want to look at it as a failure, it could be because you want to, when you're trying to help everybody and you want to say yes to everybody and you want to make it happen for everybody, there's only 24 hours, like you were saying, in a day. And so, things could slip up. And so things do slip up and you forget something, and that could be very detriment to an event or to a bride or to a client if you forget something. And it could be just something very minute. And I think it might be a failure because if you forget something, you're it's very hard.
Well, tell us about a success you learned from. Give us an example.
Oh, my. Okay. The success is the event itself. I think watching the bride and the groom hug you at the end of the night when you bring this big elaborate event on, or a corporate entity where they just want everything to come together and you do it. I think that, number one, that's a success. If you can get just one event done right, you're doing good.
Undoubtedly. And when you talk about corporate success, you're talking about these big wigs, the hobnobbers and the ones that bring folks in from out of state and things like that. Or you think of a convention of some sort where, you have this big name that comes in and you're like, okay, you've been hired to make it happen. And when it does and it comes off right, you're like the A-team, yes!
You just walk out of there with, like that big, you got the big sigh going, whew, okay, I got it now. The thing about it is like, oh, okay, now I get to the next one. But I used to do a lot of corporate events, a lot of conferences, did it in Hawaii, did it in Omaha, San Antonio. And it is a good feeling when here's my budget, here's what I want, here's my theme, and it happens, So I think that alone, if you can do that, if you can stay in business for 8 years, over the 7-year itch that sometimes it happens, I feel like that's a success for me. I'm still in business, even through the pandemic. I mean, that was a tough year for me. And so,
how did you pivot? How did you manage to pivot?
Well, I survived it. I didn't get a whole lot of help in terms of financial help or everything. I just had some money saved up that helped me survive. And by the first of this year, I was thinking, oh, my gosh, what do I do? Do I keep and stay in business? Do I back it up? What do I do? And I just, you just get a mindset, and either you're going to go for it or you're not. And I think changing your mind in terms of what you're going to do for the future. Is it what you're going to do? Then do it. If you're not, then go to work for somebody else and then do what you did before. And I didn't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, after all the buyouts that you dealt with in the medical profession.
And I didn't want to go there again. Personally, I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the fact that I can do my business the way I want to, where I can build the friendships, I can go and network, and I can go create and build something, you know, to be mine. And, you know, whether it's handed down or not, who knows? But at least it's my success.
True. Very true. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently, if anything at all?
Well, if I could have, I would have, instead of just starting from scratch, starting with zero funds, I would have said, okay, let me think about this first. Let me see if I can get some money and some loans and actually start off with that, you know, with the one or two people, start off with a little office or something. I probably would have done that differently, where I could have, instead of working it out of my kitchen, I said, let me find a name, let me see what I can do all by myself. I can do it. I would have probably strategized a little bit better in the beginning.
Okay. All right. So any words of wisdom, pearl nuggets of wisdom, pearls that you could leave our audience with?
In terms of the business or just anything, I guess. I don't know. Just if you're doing an event, be nice to us. You know, just know that it does cost money to do whatever you do. But what the end result is going to be, it's going to be a beautiful thing for you. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy your industry. You know, make your mark.
No doubt. Nice. So, Susan, how can we get a hold of you? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, they can call me by my phone number. It's 210-326-6205. They can email me at susan@timelessmomentsbydesign.com. You can look me up on Facebook, Instagram, all those good things that come out there. And my website is www.timelessmomentsbydesign.com.
Nice. Well, Susan, thank you so much for being on the show. Your hustle, juggle, and struggle during the pandemic is quite endearing and enduring, because you're getting ready to go into your 9th year of business.
I know. I'm so excited.
Undoubtedly. Well, thank you once again for being on our show. You all have a great day.
Thank you so much.
For more information about any of our guests, or if you have questions and comments, please email us at admin@PlemonsCPA.com. And don't forget to check out our website, PlemonsCPA.com, for upcoming events and workshops in San Antonio.
David B Plemons CPA Inc. is providing this podcast as a public service, but it is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of David B Plemons CPA Inc. policy. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by David B Plemons CPA Inc. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the Hustle, Juggle, and Struggle of Small Business podcast does not imply an endorsement of them or their concepts or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by David B Plemons CPA Inc. employees are those of the employees and do not necessarily reflect the views of David B Plemons CPA Inc. or any of its officials. You should always consult your own investment advisors, attorneys, and accountants before making any decisions concerning your financial matters. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact our office.